You don't do that. You don't ever tell me to don't do that.
You don't ever tell me to don't.
You don't ever tell me to don't not ever not do don't.
Okay, that noise you just made with your mouth in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hang on.
So in case people don't, yeah. Yeah, and then you get the gulp afterward. You're like, ew.
Well, I had to do something with the water.
Right.
Couldn't just spit it on you like a fucking, I don't know, one of those animals that spits water.
Dolphins.
Seahorse?
Whatever. Anyway, so in the self-titled Gorillaz album, the very first one, there's a song called Left Hand Suzuki Method, and it opens up with like a, and then it makes that noise that you just made. When I was a kid, I thought that was someone trying to open a soda and pouring it.
Wow. Terrific. To be fair, they might have been doing that while they were also lighting their bong. You never know.
Because like every time I would listen to that song, I'm like, that sounds good. I want a Pepsi. So that's why. Oh man, innocence of a child.
That's pretty fantastic.
I thought it was great, and
it's very silly, but it is pretty great.
I love it. Don't believe me, just smoke.
Hang on, I'm taking that advice literally, and I'm not sure what it means. Don't believe me.
I told you I could jump over that building like Superman. Don't believe me, just smoke.
You're like, the moon landing was a hoax, 9/11 was an inside job, and the Holocaust wasn't real.
Don't believe me, just smoke. Ow! Boom, 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 boom. So hot, hot damn.
People are like, wow, this song is, this is really stolen. Like, no one focuses on the content of the words, just that, like, all parts of it are stolen from someone else.
Anytime you need money, rob a liquor store, it's no worry.
That's my kind of song. I'm sure we've talked about it before, but
You're about Rated G.
Rated G,
yeah.
My, like, G-rated rapper that raps about, like, when you're crossing the street, it's best look both ways so you get to school and then get good grades.
And then rapping Space Goblin.
And then it's a little bit, I mean, that's kind of what it's a play on.
Oh, man.
That's kind of what that was a play on. But then, like, yeah, subtly in the background, every so often you hear, like, rob a liquor store.
Be mean to your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Stay out late, don't call.
Don't use condoms.
Bareback, ride that shit, Rough Riders, roll.
So wrong. And yet, oh, so right.
And then, like, the other songs about how, like, you should eat a balanced meal every day. Get all your fruits and vegetables. And then go rob that liquor store and get all the liquor, too. Get drunk. Get drunk and smoke, kids.
The only things I eat are fucking Wendy's and pussy.
That's in the background?
Yes. I like the idea that of one track just being like a guy in the background talking the whole time. Like
that's the intro. And you think it's the intro.
Fucked up.
Like you think it's the intro. But if it's like a song about to start. And it doesn't come ever.
After like 5 minutes, he's like, 2, 3, 4.
Like starts to play guitar for no reason. All right, so we should tell the people why we're here.
Was it not to pitch an amazing, sure-to-win Grammys record album?
Anybody can win a Grammy at this point.
Do you like that I said record album?
Yes.
I meant to say...
Record-setting album.
We should tell people why we're here, which is we're going to do another podcast episode, which is what we're doing, and the evidence of that is that you are listening to it, and it is being done. The other piece of evidence I'd like to throw out is that I am very sick.
All right.
You are definitely going to get sick.
Great. Fantastic.
So, sorry. Definitely try to take some emergency, but I woke up yesterday. I couldn't really hear in one ear, and I felt nauseous every time I tried to, like, move.
Look up that on Weta MD. Can't hear out of left ear. Cause 1, cancer. Cause 2, you probably just don't have an ear.
Oh, phantom earring.
But seriously, it might just be number 1. You might just have cancer.
It's probably some combination of deadly brain tumor, deadly pancreas tumor, and common cold.
It's definitely probably cancer.
WebMD, always good for hypochondriacs to freak themselves out. I wonder how many more. I'm honestly curious. And we'll get back into the podcast in a second, which is a fantasy draft. Woo!
Fantasy draft! Dub-a-dub-a-dub-dub!
Represent fantasy draft. It's been a while since we've done one of those. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too, but I also want my coffee, which is over here.
Go for it. While you do that,
preface shit.
I was gonna say before all that, I'm wondering how many more people have misdiagnosed or wrongly diagnosed themselves from WebMD. I wonder how many people have done that compared to the number that have received like legitimate medical advice. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Like, I'm curious what the ratio is on
because
that.
if you don't know exactly what you feel, how do you really describe it to like a dictionary?
And like WebMD, when you don't see a real doctor, it's like reading a horoscope to get a personality test, which is like a bunch of the symptoms could happen in varying levels of severity. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know, it's a good guide, but it's definitely not like an official diagnosis tool by any stretch.
Yeah, you should probably just go to the fucking doctor. Oh, what am I, some millionaire who wants to go to the doctor? Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. I've never understood people not wanting to do that. And it's like, oh no, I'm so scared. He'll tell me a thing is wrong. And it's like, well,
it's kind of what their job is.
And also, that's obviously what you're worried about. So it's like, well, okay.
I felt a little sick. And then I didn't go to the doctor. 10 years later, bam, herpes.
Ironically, got it from the doctor.
I stole that from Family Guy. I apologize. All right, so you know what? The time is right. We don't usually do a lot of seasonal stuff, but it's Halloween. Ow! Thank you, Wolfman Jack. Wolfman Jack off. You're welcome. My feelings are hurt. And he whimpered like a dog.
Yeah, everyone knows the only weaknesses that wolfmen have are wooden stakes and insults.
Like teenage girl bullying.
But anyway, in the meantime, we're gonna, Halloween. It's coming up.
So with that in mind, you heard we doing a fantasy draft. Mm-hmm. It's Halloween time. We gonna draft us some scary monsters.
Ow.
I'd love to hear a wolf do that. And just be like, shit.
I've got to stop smoking.
All right.
Yeah, Scary Monster Draft. I like it. I think this one's funny, and I think this one's cool, and I like all of them, obviously, because I don't think we'd do a draft that we didn't like. Mm-hmm. But this one in particular felt the most like vague, I think, of any of them so far.
Because I get the feeling that we're both going to have completely different lists for very, very different reasons.
I tend to agree.
And I'm even just taking a quick look at mine. Like, it's funny because like I'm really, in terms of what I like to create and the stories I like to write and all that kind of stuff, I go for very direct approaches. Mm-hmm. Everything is kind of like a metaphor in all of the things that I've picked. So like there's always like there's a deeper meaning in there somehow. And I like that. So
you know what? You're just the worst. You're the kind of guy who they make you read the books about in English class in high school and be like, what do you think the author meant by this? I don't know. The author was an alcoholic who lived 60 years before I was born.
You hear that, Kurt Vonnegut? If you're still alive, you're a hack.
Fucking you two don't think you're getting off the fucking hook, Joseph Conrad.
Fucking here's the road to my dick.
Nice.
Also, Slaughterhouse 6, I've been waiting for that book for years.
Fucking Cormac McCarthy.
Son of a
More
bitch.
like Cormac come back to me. I'll think of something.
Cormac crack me up because you a funny dude.
Hey!
Right. So we want to jump right in or we want to do a coin flip or something?
Let's just jump right in.
All right, you want to go first?
Sure, we can do that.
I want to go first, actually.
Okay. No, I don't. You know, why don't you go first?
You know what? You go first.
No. Well, God damn it.
Oh, thank you, kind sir.
Seriously.
Oh,
I yield the balance of my time to the esteemed gentleman.
I'd like to thank my gracious friend for letting me bestow my knowledge upon all of you. Just making up shit as we go.
All right.
Thank you, Stella.
I'll tell you what. I am going to open my Words with Friends app.
Don't do that.
No, I'm not going to play. Oh. I'm figuring out who's going. Jesus, will you let me finish a fucking thought?
I'm going to open up.
You know the scariest monster is you. for not letting me be myself.
We know that you're hideous.
Well, you're
Inside
actually
and out.
all 5 of my picks.
Oh.
That'd be awesome. My first pick is just like the mirror.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
I'm going to open up Words with Friends, and however many points in the top game against me, if it ends with an even number, I'll go first. If it ends with an odd number, you'll go first, okay?
Okay.
Sound fair?
Yep.
Okay, well, it's an odd number. They got a 9. Solo Play got a 9. You go first.
All right.
See, that seemed fair and random.
Yeah. You planned that. Thanks, Solo Play.
Good job, Solo Play. Thank you for you spelling the word Ivy. Fucking undereducated bitch.
Go to an Ivy League, learn some beggar words.
Nice.
There you go. All right, so my first pick in this monster draft, ghosts. I like ghosts.
God damn it. I hate you.
You want to know why I picked them?
Yeah, yes, because I've got my own set of reasons, and I'm curious how they overlap.
It's the sheer amount of variety of ghosts.
Yeah.
And in terms of like, because we've all seen like, the possessions and the exorcisms and all these things, like horrible evil spirits that haunt houses and attack people and make spooky things happen. But then you also got like little paper ghosts you hang around and they're like all cute and stuff.
Yep.
That just go boo. And you're like, oh. Mm-hmm. So you have basically the entire spectrum of like humanity. You have the people who don't want to hurt people and just want to have fun, and the people who want to savagely murder people.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, humanity.
And by extension, ghosts. Ghosts is
Dead humanity.
Ghosts is a wonderful choice.
That's a metal ass fucking like album cover or band name. Dead humanity.
That's pretty good. All right, I'd buy that. I mean, not like as an album, but I'd believe it.
Five Finger Death Punch. You got your next album.
There you go. Unless you want to jump on it first, Shaggy.
Jugger.
Ghosts are a wonderful pick. I had them bouncing around my 1 and 2 spot just based on how I was feeling. Ghosts, it's exactly like you said, and I'll foreshadow one of my later picks a little bit, but they really do run the full spectrum of like terrible, haunting, like restless spirits that were like murdered or like have
or like
reason to seek justice in the afterlife.
Yeah.
To just like cute little like, hey,
I can make a thing move.
I'm Casper. Do you want to be friends?
I'm Richie Rich as the ghost. Isn't that morbid and creepy?
And in terms of, I mean, my notes on Ghost say they can really do pretty much anything in terms of powers. Like they can phase through stuff, which is wonderful. They're not like physical beings.
Mm-hmm.
They can haunt essentially whatever they choose to haunt. So it's equal parts like revenge and mischief, which I think is kind of wonderful. And like
very Halloween.
And if you were like an undead, like forever living creature, I feel like
you get bored and start fucking with people.
I feel like mischief is exactly kind of where you would end up taking it.
Yeah, because what's a ghost gonna do? Like hang around, like listening to fucking old records? Like I'm done. I'm bored.
There's an Aziz Ansari bit about that.
You never met a bored ghost.
I'll spare you the details. And then they can possess shit.
Yep.
Which is fucking fantastic. There's a whole game about that, Ghost Trick, which is like a really clever and creative way of utilizing like the spirit of a ghost to like possess a scene and interact with the environment.
Yeah, that entire game was awesome. And I got that friggin' like it's stuck in my head now. And then the spoiler, he's a cat the whole time.
That's I mean that's like the only spoiler. So I don't even know. Jeez.
Yeah, there you go.
I like at first anyone that might hear this might have been like, oh, that sounds neat. I'll check it out. You know what you should do?
What?
Is you should censor that with a cat meow.
Bitch, please!
I was like, ooh, that's even better. God, I love that you started doing that. So, okay.
Now it's on to your pick.
Ghost. Wonderful choice. I'm a little upset that you got it first because I wanted it first, but that's okay. I've got a great list nonetheless. My first overall pick is going to be unicorns.
What? Okay. All right. Explain.
So, hear me out. Unicorns, as we all know, are magical. They are just eminently magical, fair beings, usually seen like traipsing delicately through a field or whatever.
They're fair mares.
Yeah, and nice. And like
punching it.
Unicorns and like rainbows are always synonymous as just like these pleasant mythical creatures that represent like everything good in life, right?
I start thinking about unicorns. I'm just like, Jesus loves me.
Unicorns are great to add to things. Like, they're everywhere. Robot Unicorn Attack is a funny Adult Swim game.
As soon as you said unicorns, that's the first thing my mind went to.
Right? And, like, they're probably one of the funniest, like, mythical creatures just in general. Like, it's like, oh, add a unicorn to it. Your thing's already better.
There you go.
Here's why I picked them first.
Why?
What are unicorns not telling us?
Where they get their horns from?
Why do they need a horn? You know, it's like the classic, if you're not worried about getting attacked, why do you need a gun? Why does the unicorn need its sharp horn? Also, what's the one thing you always hear after, like, a serial killing happens when they're describing the killer, friends, family? What's the one thing they always say?
He was quiet.
He was so quiet. He was so nice. I never would have suspected this from him.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Unicorns are essentially nature's serial killers.
Oh my god.
No one suspects the butterfly.
Oh god. You're ruining unicorns for me.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you.
You're a ruinicorn. Ruinicorn.
Look, and just remember, at the end of the day, a unicorn is still a horse. And you've been to Denver International Airport. Horses can be goddamn terrifying.
Yes, they are.
So, unicorns, number one.
He's talking about the giant blue red-eyed horse outside of the fucking airport.
Oh, they have a name for that.
Probably like Big Blue or something. Probably something silly.
I don't remember. Oh, if it comes
Death
to me, I'll
horse?
try to remember it. No, it's like a play on words.
Oh.
Blucifer. That's the one.
Blucifer.
Nice. There you go. 2 solid picks. Those were my top 2.
You know, I go for like traditional stuff. You go for the psychological. I like that.
It's gonna be a really interesting next 8 picks.
All right.
I'm excited to see where it goes.
All right, number 2 for me. I'm taking vampires.
Fuck you! That was my next one too!
I have a one-word reason why.
I'm not mad. I'm just really, really surprised.
I have a one-word reason.
What is it?
Vampirella.
The what?
Vampirella.
Okay, I heard you. I mean, what? Not like, what?
I will show you a picture. Anybody on the internet, show this man a picture. But...
Are you talking about me? Because you're going to do it. They don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Show this man a picture!
Show me potato salad.
Do you think maybe you can put... She's waiting in... Wow. There you go, feminists.
Mm-hmm.
Mission accomplished. Nothing to worry about.
Mission complete. More like submission complete. But she's her own woman.
So why do you like Vampirella? Tell me more.
I showed you a picture.
Okay. Is it just the picture? Is that the only reason why?
Yeah. I mean, other like vampire powers and shit, like, oh, they can hypnotize people and they're like, whatever. But seriously, man.
You know what you are right now? You're the fucking guy that lets the auto draft Wow.
Look at that Wolfman, too.
That Wolfman's like, hey, baby. You're the fucking guy that lets the computer auto-draft your football team, and you don't do shit to your lineup all season, and you finish in second. And I'm furious. Because that is the worst you blew this pick, and you still got it right for all of the wrong reasons.
There's one other reason why.
Sure.
Monster Squad.
I don't know what that is either.
It was an 80s movie where it was like a vampire, werewolf, and a mummy and stuff all teamed up.
It's like Pro Stars with Wayne Gretzky.
It's all about helping kids.
That's what. Okay,
dude.
All right, you redeemed it a little bit.
So Monster Squad and Vampirella is the reason why I picked Vampire.
My third.
It wasn't gonna be Twilight.
No. See, third on my list was Dracula specifically, because he's like the king of the vampires, so to speak.
Sure.
But I meant it to symbolize vampires. It's a wonderful pick. Here's the thing about vampires. They spend like half of their day sleeping. They are extremely sensitive to sunlight, to the point where it kills them.
Oh my god.
They get you see where I'm going with this already.
Oh my god, all vampires are MC Chris.
And I was gonna say, I'm basically half vampire.
I'll say any like post-college kid in their early 20s is a vampire.
Factor in, they live in a sweet castle, and they usually have a dope cape, and like all of those like trappings and trimmings and stuff.
Look in your closet. How many capes do you have, and be honest?
Yeah.
Too many.
If the answer is 0, I feel okay. If it's anything but 0, I'm concerned.
And don't judge me. Okay. Oh God, I'm ready to judge you.
The only downside about vampires,
Sunlight?
no, their diet.
Oh, it's
Food is wonderful. Food's one of the of all the treasures of being a human
yeah.
that society have, passed down
Food
over
and
all of the
drink.
generations.
Yep.
It's been like art, music, language, and then like food.
Yep.
It's one of the purest expressions of culture and humanity.
I say.
And as a vampire, you can't have garlic.
Shit,
You can't put it in anything.
Just fucking eat Indian food.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's funny because like Dracula is so a product of his environment in Romania. Because I'm like, I don't know a signature dish from Romania. It's like if I can't have food, no one can. So it's like then you go to fucking Chili's, you get some nice Tex-Mex. You're like, I can't even eat this. It's like why? It smells so good. I'm hungry.
I wonder if there are like
Foodie vampires.
who are like, yeah, I mean, I know garlic is not good for me, but like shallots, like they're not super great, but I can make I can make it work if I only have a little.
I mean, I have to prepare for this. I gotta take the right pills. I gotta not drink as much.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
You have totally torpedoed what I thought was going to be the strongest top 5 of any draft so far. You've taken 2. All right, you know what? I'm vetoing your pick retroactively, you fucking pervs.
Fuck you.
Tease.
Whatever.
He's just showing me these pictures of fucking sexy vampire girl. I don't think it's that sexy. I think it's a little creepy.
Whatever.
And to each their own.
Hey, she could kick my ass. I don't care.
Yeah, if you wanted to get your ass kicked, just date Hope Solo. Boosh!
Damn. It was one of those jokes that kind of hit me like a boomerang. Like it went.
I'm pretty good at those.
Yeah, shit. So one of us has to be, because I'm not.
All right. For my second pick, and I foreshadowed this a little bit ago, and I didn't think I was going to have to get here this quickly. I'm taking Aliens.
Fuck yeah, man.
So Aliens in general, it's like you said with Ghosts. Like, aliens theoretically
Could be in any like shape or form or variety.
they run the entire gamut.
They're space ghosts.
Right. Well, and like, yeah, they're
space ghosts.
I knew you were going to do that. I was like, I'm just going to stop talking and let it happen.
I sound like I turn into Will Smith.
But yeah, like, look at like a Futurama or like a Rick and Morty or like to some extent like a Mystery Science Theater, right?
Yep.
All of these like sci-fi shows where it's like, oh, you find yourself in like an alien place, or Aqua Teens for that matter.
Yep.
You find yourself in like a crazy place with crazy aliens, and some of them are like hell-bent on destruction, and some of them are just like these cutesy, cuddly, totally harmless little things.
And some are just
and it's everything in between. Some are just like totally chill and totally cool.
Because sometimes you get like the xenomorphs, but the other times you get the Moonanites.
Right. And like from a human standpoint, like if we made contact with like an alien race, the scary thing about it from our end would be like, what the fuck do the aliens want? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
What's the dynamic? And we don't know.
It's because they've achieved like a higher like level of being to the point where it's just like they look at us and they're just like we're throwing rocks at each other.
But maybe not. Maybe they've achieved a lower level of humanity.
And then when they reach us, they're like, oh my god, look at iPhones.
Yeah, and or they just feel threatened by our society.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole Dark Ages thing, and they just come and try and wipe us out with brute force. You never
Fucking
know.
alien crusades.
That's awesome.
That does sound
Fuck
awesome.
you, Space Pope.
You hear a space pope? Come down
I
here.
realize the Pope didn't really commission the Crusades, but hey,
I know. I'm calling you out.
still
Just pointing out my window.
just like wrestling. Technically, you pointed to space.
Take that, space.
So yeah, there you go. Aliens, a little broad, but the broadness is kind of the most treacherous part of it. You don't know what you're getting.
For real. And I was going to say this. We usually save like honorable mentions and stuff to the end of the list, but I'm going to say it now because I have 2 honorable mentions and they might just come up. I had the aliens from the movie They Live listed on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
They're aliens that came down and conquered our society, basically, by using subliminal advertising and shit.
Wow.
So, like...
It's a pretty solid metaphor.
It's awesome. It's a John Carpenter movie. It's dope. So, Roddy Piper, the wrestler, Rowdy Roddy, is like a construction worker moving from town to town. And then, for some reason, like, a raid happens on, like, kind of like a hobo town. And somebody finds this like, box of sunglasses. And when he puts on the glasses, he sees through all of, like, he sees the aliens as they are, hiding amongst the people and stuff. And then when he starts like looking at magazine ads and stuff, it says stuff like eat and consume, obey, get married and reproduce and all this shit. And he looks at like a piece of like paper money. It says like, this is your god and shit.
Wow.
It's so awesome. And I love it.
Interesting.
So aliens could be among us right now.
That's the premise of Men in Black, and Will Smith never lied to me.
Ha ha!
Or Tommy Lee Jones.
Say what? What? Say what? Say what? What?
No one likes Will Smith.
Shut up.
Unless they like him ironically. As a musician. I mean. No one sings Miami like, oh, this is my jam. Oh, shit, play Wild Wild West next.
Shit, play Getting Jiggy with it.
Oh my god, I forgot about Getting Jiggy with it. Truly a 90s Get Swifty.
I'm Mr. Bulldubs.
Get Jiggy? What the hell is that?
Shh, this is a hit. All right, next on the list.
Do it. Get after it.
I know we discussed this about like the kind of rules we're establishing for this, but I'm taking a monster movie like staple character now.
Okay.
Freddy Krueger.
Nice.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Solid.
And it's fun. This is exactly how I wrote this. He kills you in your sleep, but in a fun way.
Oh, what a thoughtful little scam.
Yeah, like he puts you in like a fucking pinball machine and bounces you around like, bonus ball. It's like, oh my god, that sounds awesome. If there's gonna be like a way to die, you want to go out like that. And so...
I don't know.
You wouldn't want to die like, you know...
I feel you're glossing over some of the important details.
I know, but it's funny because, like, I wrote this down a long time ago because I had this funny idea. If they made, like, a new movie and that wasn't shitty, like, I would want somebody to have, like, there'd be, like, a character or something that started doing lucid dreaming and they have a fucking dream fight. That'd be so cool.
I feel like that's too good of an idea not to have been done already. You know what I mean? Like, where is that idea?
They did a Platinum Dunes remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was terrible, because the cool thing about the old Nightmare on Elm Streets, and even Freddy vs. Jason, was that they killed him in, like, fun, inventive, like, creepy ways. Fucking Freddy turns into a hand of a phone and, like, licks a girl's ear. It's like, hey, I'm coming after you. It's like, that's awesome. Instead, it's all just him just, like, stabbing people. And that's it.
That's not fun.
No, and like I
could go do that right now.
What was cool was that they introduced a concept called... Oh, God. I'm going to get out of this house. I'm literally in a house killer. Oh, God. But I'm trying to sing the troubles away.
That's how Trapped in the Closet functions.
I pull out my Beretta.
Speaking of, sorry, I will let you get back to it, but I'm just now reminded of that Goosebumps cover you showed me of R. Kelly.
I will put a picture.
Please do. That shit is wonderful.
And all the Vampirella pictures I showed you.
Yeah, okay.
All right, anyway.
It'd be awesome to just, like, gradually have the thing go from, like, our two faces to just, like, pictures plastered on top of it by the end.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And then blood comes.
They died. Anyway, so they introduced a concept called micronaps, which is a thing you do when like you're kind of like in a state of like, I have been awake for 3 days.
Right.
And so they started doing some creepy stuff where it was actually like affecting the real world too.
Interesting.
And that was it. Like he knocked some cans over in a grocery store.
That could have been way cooler.
Yeah. It really could have.
That sounds like a huge swing and a miss.
Yeah. The cool thing is the guy who did what's the guy's name who did Rorschach and Watchmen? He was Freddy Krueger in that movie, and he was fucking awesome.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes. And he was like, I'm going to show you how carbon and nitrogen mix together, and the electricity in your body that's pulsing through, it's causing pain in your abdomen right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it.
Good pick. I didn't do too many
like movie villain stuff.
I didn't do too many like named villains, so to speak. Like Dracula was one of mine
because it was an encompassing like concept. It was vampires,
right? So. But I like that, and the reason I like that is because there's nothing really like Freddy Krueger, or like a Jason for that matter, or whatever.
Jason, I could talk about like in terms of Frankenstein's monster, like this impending doom that's like scary and unknown. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay, great pick. I feel like we've both made pretty good picks so far. And like the top of our list has been pretty similar in structure.
And I took vampires.
And ghosts. I am furious that I didn't get ghosts. Ghosts were easily my favorite on this whole thing. I'll also show you, I'll send you my You Got Ghosted file. So there's this quick non sequitur before we get into my pick, which you're going to love because I love. around Halloween in like a lot of offices, they do a thing called like "You've been booed," where someone prints out a little thing of a ghost. It's like, "Oh, you've been visited by the spooky boo ghost, and it left you candy. Now print off of the thing and then send it to two, or do it the same thing to two other people."
Yeah, like boost some people.
Yeah, and it's just like you put up the thing, you give them some candy or whatever. And it's a office cheer, hooray! It's fucking corporate America. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So my coworker hated the idea, and he was like, "If someone does this to me, I'm gonna be extremely angry." So I made up a version of it called "You Got Ghosted." And it's just the 4 Pac-Man ghosts with like a pithy little message about like, "See, now you're special. I mean, you still got visited by a ghost, but at least you got candy. All Pac-Man ever got was fruit."
Fuck fruit.
I love it.
You hear that, rated G? Fuck your balanced diet.
Ooh.
And he just shoots me.
He's got a song called Moderation Nation about not eating too much candy or drinking too much alcohol.
Yeah.
Everything's good in small doses.
Reading is a very fresh way to learn, and if you look into a book, you might just say, "I had fun, just like Ron, DMC, and J." Ah!
Nice.
Call back to a thing.
That is a callback. Okay. Third pick.
No laughs, but a nice callback.
It was funny. I'm trying to keep
We did that silent laugh where we looked at each other like, yeah, you funny.
It is actually kind of a bummer that so much of like what makes a podcast fun to do is the nonverbal. Like the nonverbal communication.
If you could see the like, things I'm doing with my hands. What's in my hand? You don't know.
Oh, spoiler alert. I was going to say something really insensitive. I'm not going to.
Right.
Third pick for me. What is this? Sixth overall.
Yeah.
I am taking the painting with shifty eyes.
Fuck yeah, man. Damn it. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even think about the painting.
I had painting with shifty eyes. It was the first thing I wrote down. I didn't put it first on my list, but when we thought of the concept, it's literally the first thing I wrote down. I was like, I'm getting painting with shifty eyes. I thought I could have gotten it later, but I didn't want to risk it. The painting with shifty eyes is wonderful. It is absolutely my favorite, like, horror trope of all. I
think there's someone watching us.
It's equal. Like, if you see it, when you see it in the thing, you're like, oh, of course that's happening. Yeah. And it's I wrote down it's equal parts campy and creepy, which I think is the best way to put it. Because a painting with shifty, like, there's so much, like, Saw and, like, all this real gruesome,
torture
gory,
porn bullshit.
Like, violence in the world or whatever.
And you have a painting
and then, like, a painting that follows you with its eyes is like, oh, that's adorable. But at the same time, one of the creepiest and most like unsettling sensations is
the feeling of being watched.
Is the feeling of being watched. That's exactly right. So psychologically, like, if you found yourself in a room with a painting with shifty eyes,
like,
it gives you that. It immediately brings you into like, is someone watching me or am I seeing things?
Yeah.
So painting with shifty eyes.
And then there's the times where you see the horror movie where it's just like they have the shifty eyes. It's like, here, we'll sleep in here. I'm going to change into my nightgown. Whoa. Like Scooby-Doo fucking eyes. Just boom, wow.
And since you threw out an honorable mention, I'm also going to throw out one. And I hope if you get to it, wonderful. If not, even better. One of my honorable mentions is hallway with doors that lead you into doors in the same hallway.
So basically anything in a Scooby-Doo
like
episode.
Scooby-Doo chase scene.
That's like, so you're basically just putting Scooby-Doo on this list.
It's more or less. I love all of those silly tropes.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
There you go, third pick.
I've also appreciated the fact that over the course of this entire podcast, I've buried myself as a total fucking perv.
How so?
The fucking Scooby-Doo, I'm gonna change my clothes because I'm a chick. And then Vampirella, because, like, fucking A, man.
To be fair, Vampirella makes sense. The Scooby-Doo thing. Also, I mean, that's like 90% of the plot of Porky's.
No, because
it's like watching people change.
There's an actual short that they made of Scooby-Doo that has fucking Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and David Cross and Gary Coleman in it. And that joke happened.
Gary Coleman?
Yes.
Wow.
It was like a long time ago.
That is something.
Put a link in there.
Do it.
on to my next pick.
Do it. All right, fourth for you.
I'm thinking I might change it up, but I don't know.
That's fine. Take your time. Like, they give the NFL teams 15 minutes for all of their picks in the first couple rounds for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's because, look, you've got choices to make. If you wanted to trade this pick to me for a pick in a draft to be named later, I'd consider it.
We
can negotiate.
Okay, so I'm going to do because all three of the next ones I have are all really same conceptually. So I'm going to go with the actual in the list form. I'm taking Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
And the reason why...
Thank you for calling it that.
Yeah, because he's not a Frankenstein. He's
Right.
Frankenstein's monster.
Right.
Anyway, I like the idea of like this creature that we have created that we don't fully understand. And at first, he's like an innocent, like child brain, basically. So you're just like, this is the world. And like you try to like coddle it and bring it into your life, basically. And then he makes a mistake and everybody's all like, kill him!
Mm-hmm.
I like that concept a lot because like to me, it plays off of this immediate inherent fear of like the unknown or
Yep.
like the Superman,
Yep.
It's like, this friggin' Frankenstein's like 10 feet tall, like giant motherfucker. He's got the mind of a child, so he's just like, oh god.
You mean Frankenstein's monster?
Right. That's what I mean. But it's like, there's an inherent fear in that. And I think it's funny because like I wanted to make it kind of like, not really hot button, but it's like, how people don't have a firm grasping on like mental illness and stuff like that?
Sure.
So when people see something that's not ordinary, they kind of freak out and are scared by it. It's like seeing any type of like different, like deformed person or differential, like anything.
Right.
Your brain immediately goes to what's wrong here.
Right.
And so he represents that kind of fear. I like that.
It's like Lenny or George, whichever one.
Lenny was the one.
Yeah, I thought so.
I get to
in
take
Of
the
Mice and Men.
rabbits. Yep.
Yeah.
And he like wants to touch that girl's hair, and he's like, "Don't pull so hard." And then he starts freaking out, like, "Don't start yelling!" It's like, "Oh God, Lenny, what'd you do?"
Yep.
Yep. And so he's basically like, that's a modern telling of Frankenstein's monster with that.
Which I'm only just now putting together.
Yep.
And so there you go. Like, there's a lot of silly non sequiturs and spooky characters, but now I learned something. So now there's education to be had.
There you go.
That's awesome. Great choice. The idea of a Frankenstein monster is, I mean, it's classic.
Yeah.
And it's classic for all the reasons you said, which is like it's sort of an abomination.
Yeah.
And no one really understands it. And it goes back to the fucking Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. You spent so much time worrying whether or not you could do this that you didn't bother to think about whether or not you should.
Yep. And what's funny too is that I completely overlooked like it's that fear of the unknown and the fear of like the something we've created.
Yep.
But it's also the fear of our own really mortality.
Right.
Frankenstein's monster is dead.
I mean,
we bring it back to life forcibly.
Yep.
That's insane. That's something that we should not fuck around with.
It's the most literal application of I've created a monster.
Yep.
Good job. Good pick. All right.
I'm gonna have so much fun like putting hands on the screen going.
Okay. So I've got 2 of my next 5 in essence to pick from, so I might change it up as well.
Okay.
No, all right. I'm gonna stick with it. My 4th pick, I'm taking sirens.
Sirens, like the water ones.
Yes, essentially the concept of a creature that lures you in.
Yeah.
With like a sweet song or
a
whatever.
sense of security, like, hey, baby.
Yeah, like come here, everything's great. I mean, it's the literal siren song, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so irresistible, it's so appealing. And depending on which telling of like the siren's tale you believe, it was either like it just forced sailors to run their ships aground as they got closer, so they shipwrecked, or like they would take them from the ship and like eat them, or like those are all over the board. But like sirens, like even though it's a really shitty idea, and even though you're going to be faced with it at some point in like your journey, the siren song is so irresistible that almost no one in any of the epic literature tellings of it
they never
lives
get away
through the encounter.
Exactly. It's also a reaffirmation of like this idea that what you're doing is like not worth it. Because they embody the things like, you could apply anything to a siren song. Like I'm trying to work on eating not as bad food.
Exactly.
So but then you're just like, just jump.
The sirens,
and you jump into it.
The siren song is essentially the devil on the shoulder of life saying, there's a better thing that you could be doing, and it's irresistible. Don't stay true to the path. And I think that's one of the sneakiest deceptions of all, and it's one of the most psychologically applicable to people, especially people with like demons, gambling addictions or just like
Alcoholism,
drugs and
yeah.
alcohol. It's like
Even like bad food, like I was
Yeah,
saying. Like it's like I can't stop eating pancakes.
right. There's an irresistible call to you.
Yeah.
And we all fall victim to it. And it's terrifying.
And
And I think they symbolize that.
And the strength of your character is measured by not how many times you fall victim to that stuff. It's about how you get yourself moving afterward.
Exactly.
Real talk on this show.
Well, before you do that, my last bullet point says sirens are like the bread they bring out at restaurants.
Ah.
You know it's a bad idea to fill up on bread, but you're at the restaurant because you're
the bread
hungry.
is so good.
And it's free, and it's good, and it's warm, and you're like, this is a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it. Siren bread.
Siren bread coming to stores near you. So now, on to the fourth pick I've got.
You sure?
So this is like sixth. This isn't seventh overall, I think.
No, if it's your fourth pick, it'd be, 7th overall.
Okay, cool. So I was right. Yay. Being right.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so.
Good for you.
So my next pick is The Invisible Man.
Nice. I totally spaced that one.
Yeah, because like it's based off of
I didn't see it coming.
Bitch, please! Okay,
Continue.
So anyway, I like the idea. To me, it's like an objectivist fantasy.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man is.
Yeah, it is.
Because like in the original friggin' novel that was written, and the author's name that I'm spacing on completely right now and makes me look like a Dumbo dumb. I think it's H.G. Wells. Yeah, it's H.G. Wells. Friggin', it's an objectivist philosophy, so it's like
Who wrote The Invisible Man?
I can hear you.
I was trying to not derail.
Siri. Shh.
No, fucking Siri.
Anyway,
Worthless.
Whatever. So, Invisible Man is about an objectivist like scientist where he wants to push the limits of all things, right? And so he's like, he goes into like optics and shit like that, and he says, I can make an invisible man or some shit, and then he does it on himself.
Mm-hmm.
See also Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon.
Right.
And he immediately becomes a dick. He's just like, no one can see me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm going to steal to get by. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because that's one of those, like, with great power choices that humans face. And the scariest thing is that the one example we got to see with that is, of course, the one that fucking took, like, the Ayn Rand approach, which is just like, I'm going to fuck up the world the way I want to.
Yep.
And you imagine the powers of the invisibility in the hands of the right person. You're just like, I want that.
What does that even look like?
What?
Yeah, it was look like
Two, please.
2 for 2.
I have to mix that now.
What I mean is, if you were invisible, it's a classic. Like if you were invisible,
if you had a superpower, what'd you do with it?
And if people pick invisibility, it's never like, oh, I would go mediate arguments between people
invisibly.
Or anything.
No.
Yeah. It's always like, I would rob a fucking bank, I would watch women in the changing room, or men if it's a woman, you know, or whatever.
Or whatever however you swing it.
Yeah, who cares? I would watch people in the changing room.
Yeah.
I would go do all sorts of crazy mischief shit, but like, your ability to affect positive change is pretty small. Right?
Yeah,
is it not? Like,
it kind of is.
I'm honestly struggling to think of like what an invisible person could do.
There will be peace in the Middle East because of this invisible man. He's just like in like the friggin' like signing room. It's like everybody's about to sign this giant piece of cord, and you're just all like, spelled your name wrong. What the fuck did you just say to me? So I totally get it.
Wait, that last clause said all of your people have to call themselves dumbs? Dumbos? No.
Dumbo dumbs?
Unbelievable.
They will never ever talk to you again.
Yeah, but see, like
your ability to affect change. Yeah,
it's a great choice. I love the Invisible Man choice. I didn't think of it at all, but
so that could be the new scary thing: is that you've been given this thing that you've either done to yourself or like something has been inflicted upon you, and you want to be like a beacon of hope and change and positivity, but you just can't.
Right? Yeah.
Damn.
See.
We got too real.
No, and like ultimately we said it up front, and that's one of my favorite things about this whole thing.
Yeah. Is
like there are pretty decent, deep, like psychological reasons behind a lot of these things. There's a lot of what's horrifying about horror creatures.
Yeah.
They
reflect ourselves.
Isn't what they can do, but it's how much they reflect ourselves and make us ponder what we are capable of.
It's really shitty how on the same page we are a lot of the time, because it's just like, here's your punchline. Sorry, man.
No, it's okay. It's also nice that I guess the flip side of that is it's nice we're on the same page in terms of I don't have to explain holding up a mirror to society's self.
Yeah, it's actually, hearing all that stuff is going to make my next pick very, like, Like, it's going to make sense.
Okay.
It's going to be on point.
Before you get to that, and sort of on the heels of that, I'm going to move one up in my list. I am taking the Phoenix.
Fuck yeah!
The Phoenix rising from the ashes. It's not necessarily a scary creature, I should point out. But neither are unicorns, so I'm going to bring it home.
All right.
Man, I would have a great fucking JRPG team.
Fucking unicorn. And I will be with you.
So the Phoenix, I mean, you know, it signifies rebirth. It rises from the ashes.
Yep.
They are typically portrayed as like beautiful birds, sometimes, you know, flaming molten birds or whatever.
It's like Moltres.
Hence the ashes or whatever.
Yeah.
The reason I take the Phoenix, is because it's a metaphor for the cyclical nature of life and of things.
Yeah.
And in a way...
That's not scary.
Is it not? Is there anything... What I wrote in my note was... I'll just read it verbatim. It's not scary per se, but it's a powerful metaphor for the cyclical nature of life and the universe itself. And is there anything scarier than being forced to contemplate your own mortality?
Maybe zombies.
It depends on the zombie.
Fast zombie. Fast zombie with gun.
One of those wiggling little
jiggle tit zombies. We can jump, boy. We're on the same page. Too much.
I heard that yesterday. That's the only reason it was in my mind.
Chikizi, what are you doing here?
My iPod's been on shuffle all for like weeks, and I love it. It's like, oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a non-traditionally scary pick, but taking
the scary
Phoenix,
thing is life itself.
right? Yeah.
Great.
Hey, look, it can't all be sunshine and unicorn shit.
Fuck. Can't all be sunshines and Frankenstein's monsters and skeletons. That's skeleton. All right.
There you go.
That's a good pick.
Thank you.
We're getting very different reads from this, and that's good.
Yeah.
I thought we said at the beginning.
We very much took divergent paths after the first like couple.
Yeah. So, my next pick.
Do it. / last pick. Last pick.
Jekyll and Hyde / Wolfman. I love...
Wolfman doesn't have nards.
What the fuck?
It's from... I cannot remember what it's from, but it's like some movie that's sort of like a campy scent. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right, so I kind of lumped these two together because they're kind of two parts of the same whole, where it's like, you basically have two sides of a person, and it represents like the primal instincts of someone versus like what we show to the world. Mm-hmm. And there's something immediately terrifying about the aspects of your like mind or the way you think or the way you act that you can't control.
Yep.
And I think that's fucking terrifying.
It's pretty terrifying.
It's the fear of the self.
Yep.
And it's like, if all the things that we've been like picking have led up to that, it's the ultimate fear in life is not knowing, but it's sometimes, if ultimate fear is not knowing, but sometimes the ultimate fear is also knowing too much.
Yep.
So there you go. And the cool thing is about wolf people is that you can get your bloodthirsty, ravenous, like, murder machines, and you can also get the, puppy versions. You get scratch their tummies.
Oh, buddy.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Kill that guy.
That's a great choice. I hope it's not too spoilery to either you or anyone who might be listening, but if you do a genocide playthrough in Undertale...
Oh, boy.
Which I just finished... The very first part's always generally the same. Like, you go through with Toriel, the goat lady or whatever. Yeah. And when she's trying to block you off, if you've done a full genocide playthrough, you hit her once, she dies immediately, and she goes, now I know who I was trying to protect. It wasn't you. I was trying to protect everyone else from you. And it's like, whoa. I feel personally like an asshole, but as like the character putting myself into that mindset, it's like, that's about right. I'm gonna kill everyone.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really fucking heavy from like the very get-go.
Fucking gentlemen, welcome to Dubai.
And then right? Jesus. And then the flower is like, I remember you. Let's kill them all.
I remember you. Like the fucking boogeyman.
Oh, it's fucking insane.
God.
So great pick. It's essentially a,
I'm scared now, because like you told me to play that game. I'm just like, I want to do that.
Oh my god, definitely do.
Okay.
It gets even if you play the full pacifist playthrough,
yeah,
there are really, really like dark parts of it later.
Great.
It's pretty fantastic. It's a wonderful game.
I want to play Call of Duty and just say America is number one, and then go shoot some other people.
Very, very kind way of saying minorities / Middle Easterners.
Minorities.
I read between the lines. It wasn't hard.
Just say what you're all thinking.
It's my least favorite fucking justification for like those fucking forwards from grandma / like Facebook posts where it's like, fucking Michael Richards telling it like it is.
Oh.
He's saying what we're all thinking.
No. You know what's awesome,
There
though?
can't be a white history month, and it's like, fucking
Of course there can't, because you would be terrified.
Oh my god.
Also, I will say, though, in defense of Call of Duty, I'm playing through Black Ops 2 right now to get prepared for Blops 3, so fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the entire Strike Force missions in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, China and America officially joined forces to basically stop a special defense coalition against like all of like the world's enemies. We become like a joint like operation superpower for like world police, and it's like people can get along.
That is weird.
I know.
Also awesome.
It's freaking crazy because like when you get assaulted on the USS Obama because it's in 2025. And it's like, he's like, oh my god, all our people are dying. Look, it's the Chinese! And they're like saving our asses. It's like, fuck yeah, get them, boys!
Don't they usually name ships after dead people? Barack, if you're listening.
Run.
Get to safety.
Get out of the house. Get out of the house.
Yeah, the call is coming from inside the White House.
Oh my god. Okay. So we did all of our picks.
Nope, I've got one more.
Right, that's right. One more from you, and then we go to one more honorable mention I want to give.
Okay. I've actually got a couple honorable mentions.
Alright, I got two then. Jesus.
The only real thing I'm struggling with is what to take for my last one.
Just like blind finger picking. Like, ugh.
Yeah. I'll stay with the like semi-serious theme route.
Sure.
And then I'll make my other potential one my immediate like honorable mention.
Alright.
I'm taking the Chupacabra.
Awesome!
Because nothing about the Chupacabra isn't great. The Chupacabra is this creature that essentially kills goats. And when I say essentially, the translation of Chupacabra literally means in English goat sucker.
Goat sucker.
Goat sucker.
You go for Chupacabra. Goat sucker.
And I love the idea that, so like it was first, I did a little research.
I imagine that with a comma in it. Goat sucker! Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome. The star of Bad Boys.
I was at a family barbecue.
I did some research. The first quote-unquote sighting of the Chupacabra was in, like, Puerto Rico. And they found some, like, sheep or whatever, some piece of livestock, dead with, like, puncture wounds in it, and, like, the blood drained.
Yeah, like a vampire.
Yeah, at first, that's essentially what they meant, is it's like a monster, like a vampire, that kills livestock. I just love that its name is Chupacabra. Like, which means literally they were like, what are we gonna call this hideous beast that's slaying our livestock? Like, I don't know.
Bigfoot?
Why don't we call it Goat Sucker? And they're like, alright, yeah, okay, that seems a little literal, but...
Because it's gonna be serious to white people who don't know our language. They're gonna hear, ooh, Chupacabra.
And I also...
How exotic. Is that a drink?
And exactly. Is that like cachaca? Like the rum?
I want to get some nice horchata.
And I love that, like, its killing powers are limited almost exclusively to livestock.
Yep.
Like goats and, like, sheep. And it's like, what a dumb monster.
What a dumb monster. You hear that, Choopy? You hear that? You dumb!
And just to really bring it home, and bring home the learning aspect, because I insist that everyone learn at least 2 facts during all of these.
Okay.
Scientists at the University of Michigan looked into quote-unquote Chupacabra attacks in North America, in the United States. And they determined that in almost every case, it was most likely a coyote that was just infected with, like, a bacteria that caused, like, the flesh of the animal that it killed to, like, rot a certain way. So it was essentially sick, infected coyotes.
So Chupacabra has been a coyote the whole time?
Yep.
You thought you'd get away with it, too.
Yeah, I would have if it weren't for you meddling scientists.
You meddling Michigans.
So there you go. Chupacabra. Wrapping it up.
Goat sucker.
Goat sucker. Ow!
Very nice. this was a fun draft.
I do too.
We gotta hold up a mirror to ourselves.
And, like, of all the ones we've done, I like that it was the most, like, sort of intangible and nebulous in concept.
Yeah.
Like, it was grounded in something.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the short stories, right? Where it's like, we know what the theme is or the prompts are, and then we can just take it whatever direction.
Yeah.
And
we should do those again.
Oh, we definitely will. Don't worry. I liked, and we mentioned it a minute ago, but, like, we started at the top, like, all right, ghosts, vampires,
unicorns.
Yeah, unicorns. Pretty similar. And then we just diverged completely.
Yep.
The case in point, I'll jump into my honorable mentions real quick.
Oh boy.
I thought about some of the standard, like, tropey stuff, right?
Like skeletons and...
Well, I had, like, dragons, and I had Hydra specifically.
Sea creatures.
I had clowns on there.
Oh, sorry, clowns.
One of the ones that I really wanted to take, but felt too similar, was the devil.
Oh,
just as, like, a concept, because the devil means so many different things.
Sure.
But
sometimes it's a goat sucker.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. As I understand it, chupacabra literally means devil goat sucker.
Devil sucker. Devil sucker!
I thought about all of that. This all would have been fine. The one that I was really torn on at the very end, though, Babe Ruth.
Explain.
Because Babe Ruth, as you might know, was essentially the spirit, quote unquote, responsible for the curse of the Bambino, which, you know, the legend states, and it's not true entirely, but
I feel like I should be sitting next to, like, a fireplace and hearing this story.
with, like, a brandy.
Yeah, just like, tell me the legend of the Bambino.
So Babe Ruth was a Red Sox, and his owner sold him to the Yankees. It wasn't like a trade. Because,
like a cow, like livestock.
Essentially, like, yeah, sports used to be... Essentially, players kind of were livestock back in the day. They got paid fucking nothing for their efforts. But Babe Ruth was awesome. He was sold to the Yankees. The rumor was because Harry Frazee, or Frazee, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, or Phrase,
something, I don't know.
Sold him to finance a musical. That's not entirely true. Like, he was involved in, like, the production of musicals, and he did sell Babe Ruth to the Yankees, but it wasn't like a one-for-one thing. Anyway, then, very famously, the Red Sox went 86 years without a championship until 2004, where they had to come back and beat the Yankees to do it, which, like, I love tortured fan bases. It's one of my favorite things in sports. Because,
you hear that, Cubs?
And anything in Cleveland, and for the longest time also Boston, because Boston had seen so much success. There's a legitimate case to be made that the Celtics are they're the best NBA franchise of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think they are. I think that goes to the Lakers, but the Celtics are right there.
Sure.
The Bruins, for years and years and years, were just outstanding. And, like, the Red Sox just couldn't fucking do it. And it was awesome in this very specific way of, like, being a scary creature.
Yeah.
Which is...
we just can't get him at baseball, guys.
It's so localized in terms of, like, the people that feel this the most are the most emotionally wrapped up in it. And when it inevitably goes wrong, it is 10 times more devastating. Yeah. And that's so powerful. And it also sort of created my my favorite subgenre of curses, which is, like, sports curses.
Don't get put on the Madden cover.
Don't get put on the Madden cover or on
you hear that, OBJ?
Or Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
You know, or don't refuse a goat to enter Wrigley Field and then the Cubs will be cursed. That's the Cubs.
You told me about this.
Which is nonsense.
Oh my god. The Mets, they brought that goat.
You know, I'm not saying that Daniel Murphy isn't the reincarnated spirit of a goat.
Better watch out for the goat, sucker.
So, yeah, that's my honorable mention is the ghost of Babe Ruth.
Very nice.
Allegedly haunting the Red Sox franchise for 86 years. Before, I
Drunk
guess...
off his ass. Drunk-ass ghost.
Exactly. Before, I guess, getting tired and be like, fuck it. I'm bored.
And just hitting clouds with a bat.
Oh,
my only honorable mention other than that is zombies.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What's funny is, like, I never even considered putting zombies on the list.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where, like, zombies was an honorable mention, also lowest on the list because, like, the only way zombies are terrifying in terms of, like, the original, like, Night of the Living Dead type of zombies, this slow moving inevitable doom coming at you. is you have to pit that kind of a monster against the worst kind of people. And also, zombie strength is fake. It's like the only way that you would ever get a zombie to like gore you as they do in movies would be if you were made of paper.
Or to give yourself up.
Yeah, okay.
Like lay down on a beach like,
zombies, no!
So relaxing.
Don't eat me! And it's like, I'm just gonna will my stomach to burst out of my... Alright. And that's what happens. I will say, there was a cool scene in one of the in Day of the Dead. Mm-hmm. They get like a soldier and they hold him down, they start like eating at him. One zombie reaches for like his neck and pulls out, and he's screaming, and then when he does that, it sounds like his pitch goes like that. Like you pull out a fucking like cassette, like the tape of a cassette, and it's like, holy shit,
that is fucked up.
I know. And then you remember like, Shaun of the Dead, and like the guy gets pulled out the window, and then instantly is like dead. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's just a guy. Like a zombie isn't like a superhuman. It's just a dude who's just like.
I love Shaun of the Dead.
It's so...
Let's go to the Winchester, have a pint.
And wait for all this to blow over. And he plays Time Splitters with his friend.
Dogs can't look up.
Well, Big Al says dogs can't look up.
Fucking great.
Good stuff.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So we did it. Another pod sesh.
And it's actually relevant because it's fucking Halloween time.
Yeah. What date is it?
It's like 25th, 24th.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So we're a week away.
Sure enough.
Sweet.
Also, Hell in a Cell.
What?
Nothing.
No, fucking God, wrestling. New honorable mention. You. I don't know you anymore.
I don't know who I am anymore. Anyway, this was fun. This was awesome. And a little bit of foreshadowing. Some more Halloween content might be coming to the channel soon as well.
Oh, shit.
Wonder what it could be. We're going to play video games.
That's kind of probably, yeah. I was imagining that's probably what it was going to be. And then, spoiler alert.
We're going to make sock puppets of Drac and Frank. And they're going to have a cop movie buddy thing going on.
I'd watch that.
I would watch that too. Muppets, watch out.
Seriously, because I'm going to kill. Is that spooky? Spooky ending?
Instead, you see like Miss Piggy is like making bacon. I think that's the best way to end this. Actually, you can think of one better.
Nope.
Thought they were dealing with amateurs.